It's a frustrating truth that most traders fail when they're desperate to succeed, but understanding why can save you a lot of heartache and money. The key paradox in trading is this: the more you need to make money, the less likely you are to succeed at it. In fact, desperation is one of the most dangerous mental states you can bring to the table when entering the market. While many traders focus on technical strategies, risk management, and market trends, they often overlook one of the most critical aspects: psychology. The moment you need trading to work, whether it's to cover rent, pay off debt, or fund a dream, the weight of that expectation changes everything. The fear of loss becomes overwhelming. You start making decisions based on emotion, not logic. And, as we all know, emotional decisions rarely align with solid strategy. When you're under pressure to succeed, you tend to overtrade. You take higher risks, trying to make up for past losses or jump into positions that look good in the moment but lack long-term viability. Suddenly, you're no longer trading for opportunity, but for survival. The very essence of making good decisions is lost when you are backed into a corner. The markets, in their nature, rarely take your financial needs into consideration. They are driven by forces far beyond the reach of individual traders, moving on their own set of rules that can shift without warning. You can't predict or control these fluctuations, but desperation clouds your judgment, making it even harder to react rationally when things inevitably go wrong. The market doesn't care about your need to make money. It moves based on its own. There's another aspect at play here: the all or nothing mentality. When you need the money, you're tempted to take bigger risks, hoping for a quick win to solve all your problems. But this gamble tends to backfire. It's a classic case of trying to force a win, but the market is never willing to follow your timeline or your financial pressures, which you often do not remember. As a result, you end up chasing losses and find yourself even further from your goal. This cycle of emotional decision-making can also lead to a phenomenon known as recency bias, where you focus on recent wins or losses, and they disproportionately influence your future decision-making. If you've just experienced a loss, the urge to immediately make back what you've lost can be overwhelming. You throw yourself into higher-risk trades, hoping to recover quickly, but the odds are stacked against you. On the flip side, if you've recently made a big win, the feeling of invincibility can lead to even bigger risks, with a misplaced belief that you're on a roll. Both of these patterns are driven by emotion, not logic, and the market is quick to humble those who lose their discipline. Additionally, trading isn't just about being right, it's about managing your losses and having patience. When you're under pressure, patience goes out the window. You're too eager, too urgent, and that impatience leads to mistakes. The market doesn't reward haste, it rewards clarity, strategy, and adaptability. Impulsive trades, particularly in times of stress, tend to undermine sound risk management practices, such as setting stop-loss orders or maintaining a diversified portfolio. In short, you end up risking everything to make up for perceived lost time. Analysis paralysis can be triggered by the psychological stress of needing to make money. You begin to overthink every trade, second-guessing your strategy, analyzing charts and news feeds in an endless loop, and drowning in data. This not only wastes time but also leads to inaction when you should be executing a plan. Striving for perfection often leads to inaction, and in the fast-paced world of trading, that can be just as costly as making the wrong decision. The environment of desperation breeds a sense of lack of control, which ironically drives traders to try to control things even more. The chaos of constant market fluctuations, endless news updates, and unpredictable shifts can lead you to obsess over every detail, always tweaking your strategy in an attempt to stay ahead. But this only adds to the chaos. Trading demands flexibility, but when you're fixated on controlling the outcomes, you lose sight of the bigger picture and end up making things more complicated than they need to be. Another often overlooked problem is burnout. Trading can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. When you're under pressure to perform, you're prone to poor sleep, emotional highs and lows, and a constant state of stress. This fatigue leads to poor decision-making, even if you're technically skilled. Without a clear mind, your ability to analyze and react becomes impaired, pushing you further away from profitability. Ultimately, making money in trading when you really need to is a battle of the mind. The market will always have its ups and downs, but your mindset is the one thing you have full control over. If you can find a way to detach from your need to profit and approach trading with a clear head, only then can you begin to see consistency. If you can't stay emotionally detached, the market will quickly pick up on your desperation, and your account balance will feel the impact right from the beginning. In the end, the road to profitability isn't paved with desperation, but with discipline. It's about letting go of the emotional baggage and viewing trading as a long-term journey, knowing that there will be both highs and lows along the way. If you want to make money in trading when you really need to, the key isn't to focus on the need. It's to focus on creating a system that works, managing risk, and most importantly, managing your emotions. Only then can you achieve sustainable results you want.